Hey everyone, welcome back. It's got another great video for you with some really interesting news coming out, and it's what everyone's been waiting for. What is this eruption going to be called? Now, the town council of Grindavik, which is close by, has narrowed it down to two names. Now, what they did to get to this point was the authorities organized a competition between March 31st and April 9th of 2021, where the public was allowed to submit name suggestions for what they thought the new lava field should be called. After all of that time and all of these submissions, which they had 339 submissions, they narrowed it down to two. Now, before we get to these actual two names, let's look at some of the rejected names that they obviously, some of them they couldn't have picked. Some people thought it would be perhaps funny, given 2020 and the pandemic, to name it, and I'm going to pronounce this all, hopefully in my best Icelandic, Coronahrun and Covidhrun, while there was other suggestions, Olmurhrun, which was intended to be a tribute to the Director of Health, Alma Muller. Now, none of those suggestions made it past the town council's deliberations, of course. Some of the other ones that they were looking at were Dalurhrun, Geldingadalur, and Isolfshrun, which that last one is said to be named after an early settler who believed to be buried in that area where the eruption occurred. Now, the names that they've narrowed it down to are going to be Fagrhun, which translates to beautiful lava, or Fagradalshrun, which literally just means beautiful lava field. And I think it's pretty suited to that just because the eruption was so close to Fagradalsfjall, which translates to beautiful valley mountain. So those two names I think are very fitting. I think they're going to hopefully come up with a name pretty soon. I mean, this eruption's been going on for a little while. But everyone's just waiting now for the town council to have an official opinion on those two name suggestions now that they've narrowed it down to that. So with those names out of the way, I know it's super exciting. We're going to look at some of the new developments with earthquakes. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, there was some large over 4 magnitude earthquakes not too long ago, and there might be more and more seismic activity as we're coming further and further along. Now, there's been a couple, and if we're looking at the chart here, we can see again those green stars signifying earthquakes over a magnitude of 3. There's still a lot of activity in this area. Now, as I've mentioned in previous videos before as well, it could take a seismic activity to stop this eruption because this lava is not, all the magma is not originating from some chamber that's just below the surface. It's actually coming from a lot deeper down than we would typically expect from an eruption. So it could take an earthquake or some seismic activity to close that up. So if we take a look at this table here, and we'll just narrow it down to magnitude 3 and larger, we can see that on Saturday, which was today, earlier in the day, we had 2 around magnitude of 3 and at a depth of 5 kilometers down. Now, the ones that were a magnitude of 4, I believe those were around 6 kilometers. So it appears that these are getting a little bit shallower. I'm not sure if there's any correlation between that. If we take a look at magnitude 2, I'm not sure if it's sort of slowly getting closer and closer to the surface, or if that's even a thing. Maybe you guys know and you can put that in the comments. But it is interesting to see that the seismic activity is starting up again when this is what happened to lead us to the eruption. And then the eruption occurred. All the earthquakes basically stopped, all these larger ones that is. And now we're seeing again an increase in larger magnitude earthquakes happening. This image here shows the northernmost crater, which I reported on earlier, had stopped, and you can see this nice aerial view of basically no more lava there. It has stopped. Now there's a lot of other cracks and fissures, and the other areas of the eruption are still producing a lot of lava, and the cones are still going. But this one in particular had stopped, and I thought this was just a very cool image to show all of you. Another image that I saw, which kind of was very unsettling at first, was this one here with someone bringing a horse onto the cooled down lava or hardened lava. Now, according to the Facebook post I found this on, they said that it turns out they got permission from the authorities to do this shoot. Although I being at the eruption site myself, seeing the videos of how quickly this supposed hardened lava can turn and more lava can just come out, it's unsettling to see stuff like this. The last thing I want to show you before we sort of end the video is this amazing time lapse of the eruption that ranges from March the 20th all the way up to pretty much present day. We can see here through the graphic the actual speed at which the lava is expanding throughout this time lapse. Starting off in the valley, you can see the new fissures opening up, the lava just spreading very, very quickly, and the way that it's going. So if we're taking a look at this, it looks like a lot based on where we are. I believe it's around a kilometer squared totally, kilometer square of lava now. And you can see here the, path A and path B, obviously. If we zoom out, taking a look at Keflavik up here in the top left, and then we have the capital area up here. The actual amount, I'm going to have to zoom in just a little bit and hit play. The lava is far from everything. We have Grindavik sort of down here to the south. There's not a lot of settlements and no people anywhere nearby. So again, there's no worry of something occurring where the lava is going to pose any risk to anyone. The Blue Lagoon, you can see, is way over here. The one thing that's going to be really nice, I think, if this continues for a considerable amount of time, is going to the Blue Lagoon at night and being able to look out across the mountains and seeing that sort of lava glow from while you're just hanging out in the pool, or in the Blue Lagoon, that is. Because I know that a lot of people are showing videos and pictures of them being able to see the glow from all this lava, even as far away as Reykjavik, Kópavogur, Hafnarfjörður, all these places that are fairly far. And I think as the lava field grows and there becomes more of it, it's going to be easier and easier to see that glow, especially before it becomes 24-hour daylight. So that's all I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed some of this. It's very interesting. Again, these two names, put in the comments what you think. Which one of these two names would you like to see be the name for this eruption? And as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you found it enjoyable. And if you want to stay updated with all the lava stuff or Icelandic stuff or just stuff that I've got going on, be sure to subscribe so that you stay up to date with all the stuff I'm doing. Until next time, thanks again for watching.